update to a story we brought you. Wesley Shifflett pulled a gun on other customers. We're talking about a cop who has been indicted but has a history of trying to shoot people. Let me first take you to this.
Got the radio. Urban 2 holding channel for us. Bloomingdale flat lot. Black male going towards 7 from Fashion. He's crossing over. Crossing over, guys. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Going into the woods. Through the woods. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Stop reaching! Stop reaching! Shots fired.
Put up the picture full mass. Let me explain to you the twists and turns of this. Wesley Shifflett, the former Fairfax County, Virginia cop who has been indicted for the fatal shooting of Timothy McCree Johnson, an unarmed man accused of theft, accused of stealing from a mall. You see, the cop, we have now learned, has a history of pulling out his gun at accused shoplifters. According to a report, the Washington Post, Shifflet has pulled his weapon on unarmed suspects on 2 other occasions, just days before the shooting involving Mr. Johnson. Officer Shifflet and another officer were investigating a man suspected of being linked to other crimes in the area. The man was inside looking at the shades in Bloomingdale's, but left them behind because he felt the police were onto him, the outlet reported. He went to the parking lot, felt like police were onto him. He went to the parking lot and hopped in a vehicle with a woman in the passenger seat. When he attempted to exit, he was confronted by this same cop, Officer Shifflet, and his supervisor, Lieutenant William Arnest. It was at that time, according to the Post, which obtained footage from the public defender's office, that Officer Shifflet pointed his gun into the passenger's window, which is insane, by the way. In a written report, Shifflet said he, quote, held it in a modified rated position while giving commands to the woman he claimed was touching her waistband, per the Washington Post. He added that he ordered her to keep her hand visible. Why would you be pulling a gun at people who you think stole a pair of sunglasses? The suspect, who was not identified, told the outlet, why didn't they stop me before I got into my car? Did they want to play superhero? The suspect was hit with theft and concealing weapon charges after officers found brass knuckles, in his possession, according to the report. However, they were completely 100% dismissed. Brass knuckles, concealed weapon charge. DA said, what? In another similar incident, Officer Shifflet pulled out his gun on a man accused of shoplifting in the mall. He was charged, but it was also later dropped. Officer Shifflet's attorney argued that those previous instances have no connection to this case, even though it shows pattern of conduct in days after the other. Whether he pulled a gun in the past, didn't, it's just really relevant to the criminal case. That's what attorney Caleb Kirshner said in an interview with the Washington Post. Quote, there are important reasons why police officers pull guns, end quote. Now, reminder, the Timothy Johnson case, this happened February 2023. Shifflet and another cop chased and shot at the 37-year-old Timothy McCree Johnson. This was near Tysons Corner Center, a popular shopping mall in the DMV area. It came after a security guard believed Johnson stole sunglasses from Nordstrom. Although both cops fired their weapons, Shifflet's bullet is what led to Johnson's death. He was terminated from the department weeks after the incident. Once again, there was no need to shoot. No cop was in danger. There was no threat of physical violence to anyone else immediately in their proximity. None of the factors, they were not in imminent danger. None of the factors were present to shoot and kill someone. None. But he did it anyway and gets indicted. Initially, a grand jury did not indict Shifflet, but Fairfax County Commonwealth Attorney Steve Discano wanted to launch a new investigation. Shifflet was charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless discharge of a weapon based on the decision of a special grand jury in October. NBC News reported. Big ups to the attorney for making that happen too. Ms. Dawn, a human being is dead because of sunglasses. Cop gets indicted, right? The attorney for the cop is arguing, well, just because he pulled his gun out on two other shoplifters basically days before this happened, in clear violation of Department of Policy and your standard protocol for addressing a shoplifter. This has no connection. Now, I'm going to ask you a question because I understand the qualifying rule of evidence when it comes to pattern behavior, which is an exception if you can prove pattern conduct or pattern behavior. But two or three times, is that enough to overcome the rule so that you can qualify it as pattern behavior? All right.
Yeah, so the attorney saying that this isn't relevant, the fact that he did basically the same exact thing, hold a gun out at other shoplifters, is just wrong. It is relevant. But as you said, not all relevant evidence comes in at a trial. And what a judge is going to have to weigh is relevance versus prejudicial. If it's more prejudicial than it is relevant, it doesn't come in. If it's more relevant and less prejudicial, then it doesn't. That's the scale that they look at. And basically what it is we don't convict somebody because they are bad people. Because you have done bad things in the past, it's not fair that maybe all of that comes in to convict you this time. And that's the protection. It's really supposed to protect the defendant. You could have been bad your whole life, but that doesn't mean you committed this crime. But if you did the exact or almost the exact same thing over and over and over, then it can come in, like, as you said, to show there's a pattern. And that pattern makes it more likely that you committed this crime. So the judge will weigh how close that pattern is, how relevant that pattern is against, is this unfairly prejudicial? Are you convicting somebody just because they're a bad person? To me, like, we're early, we'll see what else comes out, but it seems pretty close as a pattern to allow it in.
Absolutely. And I hope in the motion for the prosecution that they introduce the out-of-court statements of the attorney saying cops have to pull out their guns for various reasons all the time. All right, that makes it normative. So it's not prejudicial. All right, let's go ahead and put it in and let the jury decide. I would utilize his comments in the motion.